Hey people, and welcome to another video. You might have heard just recently that Halima Aden, a very popular fashionista in also the Muslim world and the general space, has actually quit the catwalk. Now you may be aware that the general fashion industry is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, but even the modest fashion industry, whereby Muslim women showcase their wares, their hijabs, their dresses and their modest fashion, is also worth billions of dollars. And of course, over the last few years, this has led to new prominent stars launching their own styles and also appearing on catwalks and fashion shows around the world. And some of these stars have been Muslim women. And one of the foremost fashionista is Halima Aden. She resides in Minnesota in the United States of America. And only in the last few years she shot to fame, having graced the fashion catwalks of New York and fashion shows around the world. So recently in her Instagram stories and posts, she started to talk about how, as her being a model, she was actually quitting the runway. Why? Because the modeling was compromising her religious beliefs and values. So as you probably know, she's a Muslim who practices the Islamic faith, and she actually wears the head covering known as the hijab. The hijab is a cloth piece that normally covers the head or the hair of a woman. Now it can be worn in different styles, and you'll see it worn differently in different parts of the world. Halima, a Somali American fashion model, was born on September the 19th, 1997. Now, she's noted for being the first woman to wear a hijab in the Miss Minnesota USA pageant. So, essentially being a trailblazer in the fashion world for diversity and inclusion. Now, here she was a semi-finalist at that particular show. Following her participation in the pageant, Halima received national attention and was signed to IMG Models. She was also the first model to wear a hijab and a bikini in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Halima's modeling contract actually specifically includes her hijab, as she made it a non-negotiable part of her work. But she did speak out about difficulties that she faced, particularly in booking modeling jobs that are not accommodating to the fact that she actually wears an hijab as a Muslim woman. She described also positive experiences, as with for the likes of Max Mara, where looks were specifically designed for her considering her clothing choices. So there were some companies and organizations that were actually accommodating of her choice to wear the hijab in this particular industry, although she did face a lot of difficulties. And she also reaffirmed that she does not need to conform to society's standards in order to be a successful model, which probably impacted on her recent decision. As a relatively young 23-year-old Muslim woman, she has appeared on various covers such as British Vogue, Vogue Arabia and Allure. Now, as you probably know, most people have been affected one way or another due to this global virus pandemic, which has suddenly come and affected many people around the world in different ways. Writing on her Instagram, Halima said that this particular coronavirus pandemic had given her time to stop, think, reflect, and also think about her values as a Muslim woman. Quite often in society, we're caught up with the fast living, with the fast-paced lifestyle. We don't have time to stop, think and reflect. And I mean, one of the things that's come out of these type of situations or contexts is that you have time to actually think about things. And Halima is saying here that she did think about things, and she started to focus on her being a Muslim woman and thinking about what the values of this actually were about. Halima went on to say, being a hijabi is truly a journey, with lots of highs and lows. That's what the BBC reported. She also commented on jobs that went against her religious values, talking about accepting modelling jobs that went against her religious norms and views. She stated, "I can only blame myself for caring more about opportunity rather than what was actually at stake." So here you can see from her quote that she actually was thinking about this, and she knew that her faith played a large part in her life. In contemporary society, Muslim women are often under pressure, being under the spotlight in different ways. Making the decision to quit the catwalk and the fashion runways public, she also received support from online superstar models sisters Bella and Gigi Hadid, as well as from the famous singer Rihanna. Halima actually arrived in America aged 6. She was born in a Kenyan refugee camp to Somali parents. She has appeared on stage talking about her experiences as a refugee. As a superstar model, she went on to star in campaigns for Rihanna's Fenty Beauty brand as well as Kanye West's Yeezy brand. Halima also commented in her Instagram stories that she praised Rihanna for letting her wear the hijab she wore to set on that particular shoot. She went into deeper reflection and stated that she's compromised her faith many times as part of her job, including missing prayer times set out in the Islamic faith. So you might know that Muslim people worship their Lord 5 times a day through prayers known as the Salah. And she also talked about agreeing to model without a hijab on, using another item of clothing to cover her head instead. Through deep reflection, she also added that she had sobbed in her hotel rooms after shooting some campaigns on occasions over not speaking up about what she actually thought was right and the right thing to do. She went on to add that the truth is, I was very uncomfortable, she wrote on Insta. This just ain't me, she added. So as we know, young Muslims around the world with contemporary culture and urban culture are often under pressure in many different ways, and sometimes we can't see beyond what we normally see on the surface level. So it's important to understand some people might be going through a lot of different things behind the scenes. Halima made the decision to quit the catwalk based upon her faith and her principles and values. So it goes to show that whatever industry that you're in around the world, wherever you might be working, you can stand up for yourself and speak out. Halima also told the BBC previously, modesty is not for one culture, is not for one group of women. Modesty is the oldest fashion staple. It has been around since the beginning of time. It is going to be around for another 100 years. It's an option, just another option for people to participate in. So as Muslims and also on a wider level as human beings, we can take a lot of lessons from this example here, that Halima decided to pursue what was in her heart rather than what she thought others might think is good for her, and she chose not to compromise with her faith, and through reflection she made the decision that she was comfortable with. She portrayed to the world that she is Muslim, she wears hijab, and she's a strong woman that makes her own decisions. We live in contemporary modern society where the Islamophobia industry is rife, where people are pumping millions of dollars just to make Muslims look bad. So it's great to see that Muslims can come to the forefront of society and showcase that their opinions do matter and that they are strong role models for others. Let us know in the comment section what you thought about this video. Don't forget to share and subscribe and check out our other videos too.